bucking Bronco bunny control, pulls on the quad with a semi-auto, and an Argentinian cameraman holding on like a rodeo rider.
This is a little bit pokey for me because I'm a little bit crazy on it, and I think I shouldn't be trusted with a 750, but hey, it's okay tonight.
Helen Tinner continues her mission to eat her way through the UK's deer population. This week she's after fallow.
Cheers.
And the latest on the Devon and Cornwall police gun grab. They're offering compensation for guns, but it's derisory.
So they're admitting that they've destroyed it, they don't know who authorised it, they're offering me £200.
We're giving away 5 pairs of tickets to the Stalking Show in Staffordshire in April. We have news and the return of hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain.
Right, so basically what we're doing is rabbit control at night. So we've got some areas on the estate, pockets where there's a lot of rabbits doing a lot of damage. We've been there with the night vision, with the 2.2 with the night vision, been there with the 1.7, we've had a guy in do a bit of ferreting, and now they're also, because we've been after them a few times, they're lamp shy or there's just aware of people there, so as soon as you turn up with the vehicle, they're going in. So this is the last resort, final frontier, and basically it's driving up the side of the field. Hopefully there'll be some rabbits out in the middle of the field, and they will run back in across with the lights of the quad bike. You'll see them coming across, and we'll shoot them going back into the hedges and the woods. It is a fast and furious job, very exciting, exhilarating, as you'll find out. Hold tight. Shotgun wise, yeah, just 12 gauges using the Benelli semi-auto. This is an M1. This is a very early series M1. It's a short 24-inch barrel. And cartridge wise, VIPs, steel. We've got some 4s, black gold, probably a bit expensive to shoot a few old rabbits. Then we've got some Ely fibres. Yeah, we're using all sorts. We've got some whole high pheasant or long rabbit, number 4s. So yeah, so we've got a nice mixture in here. Some 3s, Eco Steel 3s, which they'll do the job. What I'll do is I'll take an Olight little flashlight as well, but also I'll take the thermal. So what I'll probably do is I'll have a little scan across the field to see where the rabbits are before we head out across the whole field, possibly. It gets fast and furious, so get the job done quickly, safely and efficiently. Because it's shotgun, it's noisy, very still, we're in a bit of good weather at the moment, so it's very still. I've told the local village, important person, and he's put it on the Facebook group and the WhatsApp group. They all know that I'm out tonight on a quad bike shooting rabbits. Also, we're ringing into the police, so every sort of eventuality has been covered that we're not going to get disturbed. Box in the front for rabbits, got some cartridge in the front, we've got the Benelli, we've got the ear defenders, seat for your butt. We need some rock music and some darkness. Yeah, so you see those 2 rabbits there, what you're trying to do is basically head shoot them. So you're going to get 1 or 2 missed anyway, but try and head shoot a rabbit so it's you still actually use it for human consumption. So both of these are shot in the head. Obviously we're using quite a tight choke, so you hit them, yeah, both shot up front. So, you know, all the saddle and the back haunches and the back legs are all good. Okay. Very still tonight, so the rabbits are very sensitive as they are because they've been pressured anyway from the shooting, trying to get them under control. Also, it's very early, so the rabbits have not gone out very far out in the fields yet, so there's a lot on next to the hedgerow, so you have to get down, push down quite hard, bit faster drive than I like to do normally, but catch up with them to get them, but you've got a minimal sort of like shot window. When they're in the middle of the field, you've got a nice, perfect bolt-in rabbit shot. Price of wheat this year is, as you know, gone through the roof, so every grain is obviously a big concern for all the farmers, but also for myself. Gain crops going in next month and a half or whenever it is, and you don't want too many of these hanging around it. Those fresh shoots gone. So yeah, brilliant job. Very good night. We haven't finished yet. We can't go home yet. We're just warming up. We've got to unload this and carry on. It's 2,000 acres we do, not 500. Obviously, safety is a big concern, but when you're doing it for so long, it's second nature. You know your gun, you know the ground. All those things are really important when you're doing this. Yeah, really clean rabbit. Yeah, buck rabbit that is. Look at that. Finest rabbit eating the best crops. So, yeah, great one to go. Good night's work. 44 picked. Yeah, all big rabbits, one small one I think, so might send a little picture of this to the farmer. He'd be happy. I think starting at 5 and finishing at 10:30's a good day's work in anyone's books. So yeah, great day. Home to bed.
Thank you, Paul, and to Carlos for filming that. Next up, the only thing to mount faster than Paul's shotgun. It's David on the Fieldsports channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. Some UK partridge shoots are in doubt this season. Bird flu has hit two of the main areas in France that rear partridges for the UK market. As we record this, the Westminster government had not imposed a ban on imports of chicks and eggs from those locations. France has confirmed twice as many outbreaks on poultry farms to date during the 2021-2022 season as it did during the previous season, and the geographical spread is wider, with 8.2 million poultry slaughtered in order to stop the spread of the disease. The UK imports a high percentage of its partridges from France, with estimates ranging from 20% to 80%. Anti-hunting media reports that a ban on trophy imports is still on the table in the Westminster Parliament. DEFRA Secretary George Eustace made the commitment after rumours he had scrapped his Animals Abroad bill. He says the bill has only been delayed as MPs didn't have enough time to debate the bill because of the crisis in Ukraine. The minister says the legislation will be a priority when the new session opens in the spring. DEFRA Minister Zach Goldsmith's personal crusade to ban the import of animal parts has produced angry headlines around the world as African nations condemn it. Meanwhile, the Belgian government says it plans to ban the imports of many animal parts following the Netherlands' ban in 2016. DEFRA is asking the courts to dismiss legal action by Wild Justice. It says Chris Packham's group's request for a judicial review to restrict game bird licences is vexatious and pointless. DEFRA is asking the court to refuse the campaign group permission to bring the action and is seeking costs. It is contesting claims that it expanded the definition of game birds to classify them as livestock. Meanwhile, while justice celebrates victory in Wales, where it has successfully forced a ban on magpie, jay and rook shooting and a season for crow shooting. The wildfire season is underway in the UK's uplands. Poor management practice by organisations such as the RSPB and the National Trust, which they call rewilding, has led to huge swathes of the UK's uplands catching fire. Marsden Moor in West Yorkshire, managed by the National Trust, caught fire and reached a front a mile long. Slaithwaite Fire Station West responded to several barbecue incidents during the warm weather in March. The National Trust for Scotland reports a wildfire with a half-mile front on moorland it manages in Ben Lomond. Grouse moors, where gamekeepers carry out controlled burns in the autumn and winter, are less likely to catch fire, and the fires go out when they reach fire breaks, a management practice praised by local fire brigades. Despite its benefits preventing wildfires and encouraging wildlife, the RSPB and National Trust campaign against controlled burning. DEFRA Minister Lord Richard Benyon is backing the British Game Assurance Scheme. He gave his seal of approval during a speech in the House of Lords. He backed the BGA, which promotes and develops standards of game meat from egg to plate. The initiative aims to safeguard the future of game meat by finding new markets, for example, hospitals. The Minister believes the scheme shows the shooting community understands the importance of self-regulation.
I would say to any shoot that if they were not signed up to British Game Assurance, they are very stupid, and they should. They are proving that they are getting Shootings Act in order, and I really do encourage every single shooting interest to sign up to that.
There's a new group to help hunting. Huntingkind.com is lobbying the UK Parliament in Westminster, Holyrood, Cardiff and Stormont to help stop bans on hunting with hounds. It's run by Ed Swales.
I think the French have done it particularly successfully, the New Zealanders have done it very successfully recently, and they've had these protections of what they consider the core being of their communities and their identity recognised in primary law in some cases, but with the backdrop of UNESCO saying the preservation of your spoken word and your practice of your rituals and your customs is incredibly important. It's as important as the pyramids. You know, you don't take the pyramids down just because you don't like the fact that they're where they are or who built them.
The RSPB is trying to ramp up the importance of sea eagles to tourism. In a new report, it says that sea eagles create up to £5 million worth of tourist spend on the Scottish island of Mull every year. It also claims that visitors on Mull looking for sea eagles support 110 jobs each year. This has come as a surprise to the people of Mull. There is only one charter boat offering sea eagle trips on the island, and it only operates during the summer months, and it only recently started taking credit cards. There is another land-based sea eagle watching trip, which is supported by the RSPB. Also only runs during the summer and doesn't take credit cards. The RSPB research fails to recognise that visitors to Mull may have come there anyway, eagles or no eagles. Meanwhile, police say there'll be no investigation following the discovery of a poisoned sea eagle in Dorset. They say it's likely the bird ate poisoned rodents. As part of its campaign to abolish the gamekeeping profession, the RSPB wants police to investigate local gamekeepers for the bird's death. Police are investigating a fire at a Liverpool farm in which 5 horses died. The animals were at Rookery Farm in St Helens when the fire started. The barn has now been condemned and the farm has been forced to close. 9 horses that survived need to be moved to new stables. Deborah Rigby, whose daughter had a horse at the farm, has set up a GoFundMe page to help with the cost of finding the animals new homes. She says everyone who uses the farm is like a family and they want to keep the horses together. Details of the fundraising is in the description below. Shooters and hunters across Europe are continuing their support for refugees from Ukraine. The North Cotswold Hunt raised more than £5,000 at a meet in Worcestershire. It sent a lorry to Poland to deliver aid to refugees on the border with Ukraine. As we reported in previous weeks, the International Council for Game and Wildlife Conservation is still mobilising its members and partners to help refugees by setting up food distribution centres near the borders. The CIC is donating game meat, equipment and materials. Gun owners are outraged in Western Australia after the police released a map to the media of firearms locations in a Perth suburb. The Sporting Shooters Association of Australia calls the action a breach of trust. Members are concerned about their privacy and the consequences of identifying where gun owners live. The association says the release shows a blatant disregard for the shooting community and is causing distress. It's demanding an apology from the Western Australia Minister for Police, Paul Papalia. The map was released as part of a campaign to overhaul gun ownership laws in Western Australia. Police have refused to apologise, saying details like street names and other features had been removed from the maps. The Western Cape High Court has suspended the 2022 hunting quotas in South Africa. The government had announced licences for leopards, elephants and black rhinos. However, the court granted an appeal to the USA's Humane Society International to suspend quotas. The matter will be decided at a full hearing, which is expected in 2 weeks. And finally, a rare deer fawn has made its debut at Chester Zoo in England. Lyra is a Philippine spotted deer, one of only 700 in the world. It was born to parents Nova and Cosmos before Christmas, but has only just appeared in public. The species became extinct on the Philippine Islands. The family at the zoo is part of a conservation breeding programme set up with the help of the Philippine government. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Next, Helen Tinner wants to eat another deer species. The woman is relentless. This week, she's after fallow. When it comes to deer stalking, you can do everything right, and luck just isn't on your side. Today, Helen Tinner is out with stalking guide Nathan Whitehead. She's a big fan of field to fork, and she's munching her way through the UK's deer species. She's already shot, cooked and eaten muntjac and Chinese water deer. Today, fallow is on the menu, always provided we can find one. We're out before dawn to get into position in the high seat. Helen is using her left-handed Browning X-Bolt in .243 calibre. We wait and wait, but there is no sign of deer.
Saw a good group of fallow in there yesterday, and they just weren't in there this morning, so.
Time for plan B. Nathan leads us through the woods on foot, spotting ahead with his thermal.
Saw a couple of row, but they were in bramble, and from where Helen was stood, we just couldn't get a shot other than a headshot, so we left that one.
Could you see it?
That's why I couldn't see it, I think.
He is on the top of his head.
Undaunted, we move on to another spot that Nathan's been watching.
We've known about a group of 6 row out on this field here for a good while now. Every day you come to there. So we bobbed through the hedge, went through a ditch, come down the other side, and hands and knees job for 20, 30 yards just to get onto a shot.
We're in the shade of the hedge with the sun behind us. The deer have no clue we're here. There's plenty of time for Nathan to pick the right animal to cull.
Helen got set up on the bipod. She took the follower off the bipod.
Can I go for him?
The doe reacts well to the shot and drops out of sight through the hedge. The others can't tell where the noise came from and run 20 yards closer.
And we just let the group calm down a little bit. Just how we were, the deer run towards us, and a bit of a stubble at the side there. I think there was too much stuff in front of the gun, so we decided to jump up onto the sticks and shot that one lovely as well. So 2 good deer for the larder.
The shot is good. The doe runs 30 yards and falls dead. Even now, the remaining deer aren't too stressed. We wait and let them leave in their own time.
Just absolutely loved it from start to finish. Absolutely amazing. When I got up at 4 o'clock this morning, I wasn't knowing what to expect, but that was like the whole spectrum. High seat, walking through the woods, crawling in the undergrowth, shooting off sticks. Absolutely amazing. Can't get enough of it, really. Really. The grollicking side, I think, is a really the special thing to do as well, and get those extra fieldcraft skills. I think they should teach it in schools. I think people should know how to grolic, and well, again, it's like a respect for the animal, and everyone should know how to do it. It's not like a big secret of how animals are dismantled.
Nathan has brought a handy piece of kit to help Helen perform a suspended gralloch.
Helen wouldn't have been able to do a suspended grolloch on that deer. You know, she wouldn't have been able to lift it up by hand and hang it onto a branch or do anything like that. So the same for me with a fallow or a red. I'm not strong enough, and that's it. Helen's just commented out how easy that was, just to hock the legs, pull on the paracord, and it just takes it up effortless. Absolutely fantastic piece of kit. Keith Watson. Keith's High Seats. So he does all sorts of shooting equipment, high seats, makes gambrels, quad racks, anything you want really. If you send him a drawing, he'll make it for you.
He doesn't make colourful woolly hats, does he?
No. No, you've got to have a daft hat.
You can't be sissy when you're doing this sort of thing. You've got to get stuck in. I can do it.
Nathan is keen to explain that stalking isn't just for the select few. Anyone can have a go.
As long as they haven't got a criminal record, we've got estate rifles here, we're fully insured and everything, so they can technically just turn up. We'll take them to the range, give them a few shots and make sure they're happy and comfortable shooting the rifle and confident in humanely killing an animal, and off we go from there, sort of thing. You know, I've had quite a few people this year that have come first time they've ever been stalking. They wanted to come shoot a deer and take the carcass home with them. So, you know, we've taken them out on muntjac, or one lad shot a roe and take the carcass with them, and I've seen them put it up on Facebook that they've butchered it up. Might not be perfect, but it all tastes the same, and they were happy as Larry. So it's the same with pheasant shooting or anything, pigeon shooting. There's guides out there that will take you. There's people that will sell you a day's pheasant shooting, and it's not all about going and blasting birds out the sky as a lot of people make out. It's about the day, like-minded people, good food, something to take home and prepare some more good food with. It's everything about it.
Talking of good food, back home, Helen is already firing up the barbecue.
I'm going to cook you the Chinese water deer, the fillet of the Chinese water deer from the time before on the barbecue. The fillet has been marinated in a Nando's the hot sauce with a jerk spice, and I'm going to also do that with some chorizo, however you would like to pronounce that. I'm doing this with a risotto, and you can have it with a salad as well if you want. We don't need to wait for the sunshine. A little bit of wind, so that'll, pigeon. Pigeon's very nice on the barbecue as well. Right, with this, we don't want it to stick. See, it was just sticking. Could be impatient now and just have to take that little bit off there. Ooh, feels nice. Yeah, it's looking good. That is literally perfect. Look, it's looking good. I know it tastes good because I had a little secret taste of it earlier on. Really so tasty, that. It's nice and tender. Cheers.
There are links below to Helen Tinner's photography and the Stalker's Mate pulley system. For more about Browning, see browning.eu. And if you want to go stalking with Nathan, email him at the address in the description below. Thank you, Helen. And if you'd like to find out more about deer stalking, the Stalking Show takes place in Staffordshire on Saturday the 9th and Sunday the 10th of April. Tickets are £12 in advance and £15 on the gate. Visit thestalkingshow.co.uk for details. We're going to be there on the Saturday afternoon, where we'll be running our Fieldsports Live roadshow in the theatre. Also, we're giving away 5 pairs of tickets to the Stalking Show on our Tuesday night Fieldsports Extra show. If you want to know how to win those, easiest way is to sign up for the Fieldsports Nation, where you get to watch Fieldsports Extra each week. Link in the description below. Next, Devon and Cornwall police have created a mess with their unjust gun grab over Christmas. News correspondent Deborah Hadfield finds out the latest.
Shooters in Devon and Cornwall fear the police are punishing them as a knee-jerk reaction to a shooting in Plymouth in August 2021. Now the facts support them.
The number of gun certificates revoked in the southwest is 9 times higher than normal. These figures were revealed through a Freedom of Information request from Basque. During the last 3 months of 2021, Devon and Cornwall police revoked 54 shotgun licences.
I was unsurprised to see them because we'd heard little pings on the radar, and that's one reason why I asked the question, because I need that hard intelligence. I said I was unsurprised. I'm actually quite disturbed that they are running at such a level. I draw one conclusion from that in the aftermath of a single incident mass killing, there is going to be a great examination of matters. But I wonder whether or not the conclusion that people might draw is that the revocations are actually being made because the police didn't do their job properly in the first place, and they've gone back and thought, oh, we really shouldn't have given this man a certificate. So there's that. Or it could be a complete overreaction and a disproportionate risk-averse reaction to what, at the end of the day, is a very serious breach of public safety.
Jake Davison, who had a shotgun certificate, killed 5 people in Kiam in 6 minutes before turning his shotgun on himself. The Independent Office for Police Conduct issued 2 disciplinary notices to Devon and Cornwall constabulary staff for issuing the mass murderer with a shotgun certificate. Since then, shooters feel that the police are unfairly targeting them.
In January, it was absolutely unbelievable. The phone every day, there was 1 or 2 phone calls from people. Some people really, really upset being treated like criminals when all their lives they've been fine examples of a good citizen. Because as you know, firearms licence holders, shotgun licence holders, most law-abiding people in the country, and that's fact. And then all of a sudden to be treated like a criminal for sometimes for no reason, or certainly not being told a reason, really upset them. And we had people on the phone, in tears, upset the guns had been taken or they'd been told to drop them into us. We were running out of storage room for a time there.
We've approached Devon and Cornwall Police for a comment.
In a statement they said, in November 2021, the Home Office issued new firearms licensing statutory guidance for chief officers of police. Devon and Cornwall Police has implemented these, which has led to an increase in revocations and refusals. This does not answer the more pressing questions. Why have Devon and Cornwall Police been confiscating guns since August 2021? And why have other police forces, which have received the same guidance, not been confiscating guns? Derek Spearman had a gun shop in Tavistock in Devon. He lost his licence over a hearing problem.
They've gone into a totally negative mode. Anybody who's had a messy divorce, anybody who might have any health problems, it seems to be, and certainly, I mean, if you were being deprived antidepressants, they're sending things out to all the doctors, requesting them to basically say, are these people suitable to have a gun? Which is really a simple way of dodging their own responsibilities. If anything goes wrong, they will simply say, well, the doctor said it was all right, it's not our responsibility.
Peter Cook from Ashton in Cornwall has been shooting since he was a child with his grandfather and father. He surrendered his gun to police voluntarily when he got divorced. He spent 4 years trying to get the family heirloom back. Devon and Cornwall police have destroyed it. They apologised and offered him compensation.
It's absolutely terrible. I think it's ridiculous, the circumstances. They don't even seem to know what they've done or why they've done it or who authorised it. They've offered me, they say, between £100 and £200. So I take it they're offering me £200. So they're admitting that they've destroyed it. They don't know who authorised it. They're offering me £200. I put in a claim for £5,000, which may be a bit over the top, but I don't know how you put a value on something like that. I just didn't want the money. I just wanted my property returned to me.
Even if £200 is nowhere near the gun's value to Peter, this is the first indication that Devon and Cornwall Constabulary is prepared to offer compensation for confiscated guns. The bill to the taxpayer is likely to run into hundreds of thousands, with a similar amount from the police budget on legal costs. As a result of the Plymouth shootings, Durham Constabulary is conducting an independent review of the firearms licensing procedures of police in the South West. The Independent Office for Police Conduct is also conducting an ongoing investigation to identify if there were potential public safety issues which need to be examined in more detail. Devon and Cornwall Police say it's received an interim report from the IOPC, which its officers and the Plymouth coroner is reviewing. Many people who've lost their guns refuse to give up.
We'll be following the appeals of the hunters and shooters who've had their guns taken. For more information on these stories, see the links in the description below. And if you've been affected, please get in touch.
Thanks to all those for the interviews. Now from the southwest to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the top hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Thanks to Malk Walker from the Fox Takers channel for sending in this trio of foxes, and thanks to Philip Jones, also known as Sub 12 Pound Shooter, for this one, which ends with a spectacular left and right on Canada geese. Here's another plug for Tim Pilbeam's charity rifle shoot, this time on sponsor Viking Arms' channel. We ran Wayne Martin's goose shooting film thanks to Swedish hunting outfitter Gazjekt i Väst. Here's a promo on their YouTube channel. Red Dot Sights manufacturer Aimpoint is making an effort with its own YouTube channel, which is good to see. Here the team show off the Acro C2 and S1 in a driven hunt plus duck shooting. Jacob Kaman is on a Portuguese Monteria as part of his Kaman Trail series subtitle Hunt, Fish, Eat, Live. He's after wild boar, red and fallow deer. Our friend Nico Els's South African outfitter East Cape Bushveld Hunting is out after waterbuck with a client in this short film. And finally, also from South Africa but more political, here is a more amusing news bulletin than our own and with equally serious content. It's from Wildlife Ranching South Africa, WRSA, and this one tells how the Antis are attacking big game hunting in South Africa. That's it for this week. I have put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the I symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, that's it for this week. Just in time, as you can see, I'm being photobombed by my friend in the field next to me. We'll be back next week. If you haven't done so, please whiz over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, pop your email address into our register page, and we'll contact you about this show, Fieldsports Britain. It's at 7 PM UK time every Wednesday. And this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, good bacon, and goodbye.